Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Joe from Gen Z Investments, and today I'm going to be breaking down the math behind a $1 million Bitcoin. There's definitely a lot of people who are pushing the narrative on Twitter, on YouTube, that Bitcoin will inevitably hit $1 million. We happen to agree with that here, but I think a lot of the misconception around that narrative and a lot of the hate that and negative press that goes towards that $1 million price target is because these people are just saying it without actually giving the math behind it. The math behind it is extremely obvious. It is extremely inevitable. The things that need to happen in order for Bitcoin's market cap to reach the levels that it would need to reach to hit $1 million are very, very inevitable. I mean, I would say guaranteed, but can't really say that because you can't guarantee anything in the financial realm, but it seems blatantly obvious here that the things that need to happen, the markets that Bitcoin needs to disrupt to hit $1 million, will happen. So I want to make this quick. I just want to break it down simply. Bitcoin as of today, September 5th, is at $51,000 roughly, and it's at a $970 billion market cap. So, let me reiterate. Let me say that one more time. 975 billion market cap. It is not at a trillion market cap. And the main markets that Bitcoin can disrupt: gold, bonds, real estate, the equity markets, right? All of these are multi-trillion dollar opportunities for Bitcoin here. I mean, gold's probably 9 to 11 trillion. Bonds, 120 trillion globally. Real estate, roughly 200 trillion. Equities, another 100 trillion. You got balance sheets. All of the S&P, the NASDAQ, all the companies out there, their balance sheets, trillions of dollars. High net worth individuals, mutual funds, right? So you have all of these markets that just are itching to buy Bitcoin. Retail traders, which have historically caused great price runs in crypto assets. So you have all of these trillion-dollar opportunities to disrupt. So the question becomes, why would Bitcoin disrupt these markets? Why would people put their money in Bitcoin? And let's go down the list. It's better than gold because it's the digital application of gold. It's a digital application of the sound money principles compared to the analog version of gold. Digital versions are always better. Gold is not precisely scarce. It is not fixed. There can be gold in asteroids. There could be more gold in the ground. Bitcoin, there's 21 million Bitcoins to ever be mined, and there's millions of Bitcoin lost. So the precise supply relative to a stock to flow that can be altered, that can go down for gold if more is found, which it will be. It's inevitable. So Bitcoin is better than gold pretty much in every single way. It's more portable. It's more scarce. It's digital, more divisible, right? It pretty much just beats gold in everything. I think it's pretty obvious that the flipping between market caps will happen. Bitcoin should at least take 50% market cap by 2030, in my opinion. It's just too dominant of a big tech, decentralized network. Everyone who is going into the market at my age, anyone who's a Gen Z or any millennial, is not going to buy gold, period. They will go right to Bitcoin. They will flock there. And the same can be said relative to bonds. No millennial or Gen Z is going to buy bonds, seeing that due to inflation, the bonds are pretty much guaranteeing a negative return. When interest rates go up, bonds will hurt. Interest rates are going to go up. So you find yourself in a situation where gold's been flat for the last 10 years and has a complete competitor that is a digital version and way better. And then you have bonds that are shit because of inflation and inevitable interest rate hikes. And tapering that will happen. So bonds are also in a bad spot. Right? Real estate. There's a potential real estate bubble at our hands here. Bitcoin is digital property. It is digital ownership. It is a digital application of real estate, kind of like how it is a digital application of sound money principles like gold. However, I wouldn't really compare real estate to Bitcoin as much as I would gold, but it still has a lot of similarities, and Bitcoin is more scarce and digital, more portable. Right? So it's the same kind of advantages that it has over gold, it has over real estate. So these markets, these huge markets, let me talk about equities real quick. Equities are in a tough spot over the next 5 years because there's definitely a crash is bound to happen due to Triffin's dilemma. There's a huge paradox at our hands here, right? Because if you raise interest rates right now, yes, you can combat potential inflation, but the market would crash. Or we just keep printing money, keep expanding the M2, keep injecting liquidity, and our dollar will crash. So we're kind of at odds here. Whether inflation or interest rates are going to kill us, it's going to be one of them here. And then you throw our debt into the mix of that, and our debt is currently 130% of GDP. That we have to pay 66% of that. There's a misconception that we sell that debt off. Yeah, we sell 33% of it off. 66% of it we have to print money in order to combat. So we're printing money, the M2 is expanding, interest rates have to go up, there's going to be a crash. So that's why I think the equities market during a crash could flock to Bitcoin, because during a crash that I'm predicting that will happen, the reasons of that crash are the exact reasons why people should invest in Bitcoin. So I think that we're going to see a flipping between the equity market and cryptos, some crypto assets as well. So I think all of these reasons gives proof, or not, it's our claim why Bitcoin should disrupt these markets. So let's do some math and take extremely conservative disruptions. The math behind these is really it really fucking will blow your mind. So say we only disrupt 5% of bonds, real estate, gold, and equities. Only 5% of each, right? I really believe, again, 50% of that gold market will be taken by 2030. And I think more bonds than 5%, I think 5% in all of these is extremely conservative. I think there all will at least be 10 to 15% at least by 2030. But let's be extremely conservative. 5% of 10 trillion gold is 500 billion. 5% of bonds is 6 trillion. 5% of real estate is 10 trillion. And 5% of equities is 5 trillion. So that equals 21.5 trillion, which would make Bitcoin's market cap go from 975 billion to 22 trillion, which is a 23x, which implies a $1.1 million price on Bitcoin. This doesn't even take into account institutions putting it on their balance sheet, high net worth individuals, mutual funds, retail investors. None of those are being accounted for in this math. And this math is extremely conservative because, like I said, 50% of gold will be taken by 2030. At least 15% of bonds, due to just how poor of an environment it is for bonds and how Bitcoin is outpacing it dramatically. Equities are going to crash, and the reasons why they're going to crash is because it's not because of Bitcoin, but are the reasons why you'd want to be into Bitcoin: because of inflation, because of no trust in the system. High net worth individuals, the smart money know this. They're going to put money in Bitcoin. They're going to increase their allocations. So like I said, 1.1 million is conservative. It's inevitable. Bitcoin's price is going to blow people's mind over the next couple of years. It's really just a mathematical miracle, the models you can make with Bitcoin, because everything points to extremely higher prices towards the end of this decade. And in the short term, I'm also bullish. Just wanted to give you guys a quick video on why Bitcoin's going to go so high. I wanted to really just give you some evidence to those huge $1 million claims that people dismiss. You should not dismiss it. It's easy math. Do your own research, not financial advice. Bitcoin's my biggest position. Full disclosure, it's going to moon. Not financial advice, just my opinion. It's going to moon. Do your research. Fall through the rabbit hole. Hopefully you make the right decision. See you guys. Have a good fucking week.